With their slate grey backs, yellow-tipped red beaks and oversized yellow legs, moorhens are an easily identified bird of Europe, Southern Asia and some parts of Africa. Alongside their obvious markings, they also have a white stripe along each side, white undersides to their tails and a red band at the top of each leg. They grow to weigh around 350 grams and have a wingspan of just over 50 centimetres. Moorhens are sometimes also known as water hens or swamp chickens, and both these names are fairly suitable. They are almost always seen on or near to fresh and brackish water. Despite not having webbed feet, they are fairly accomplished swimmers and are capable of diving beneath the surface to avoid danger or in search of food. Most of the time their food comes from on top of the water or close to the water's edge. This includes snails, insects and fish, but they'll also eat berries, grain and apparently mixed birdseed. Moorhens start nesting from mid-March, when a pair will begin to construct several nests amongst waterside vegetation and occasionally in the branches of overhanging trees. These nests are made out of twigs and grasses, and once complete the female chooses one within which to lay her eggs. For the first nesting attempt, she'll lay from 5 to 8 eggs that are cream with dark splotches and measure around 43mm in length. Both parents incubate them for 3 weeks until the chicks hatch. At first, they are covered in a layer of black down apart from the tops of their heads and their wings, which are fluffless. They are precocial, which means they can leave the nest almost straight away after hatching. For the first 3 weeks, the parents keep a close eye on them and bring them food whilst also showing them what to eat for themselves. Between 3 weeks to 7 weeks, they are capable of finding their own food, and after 7 weeks, they can fly. In theory, they could leave their parents' territory now to start their own lives, but this isn't what happens. Instead of leaving, the young birds stay in their parents' territory and help them to rear the next batch of offspring. And if that wasn't complicated enough, studies have shown that sometimes moorhens exhibit cooperative breeding, where multiple females will pair up with one male and rear all of their eggs and young together. In most years, moorhens will have 2 clutches of eggs, but if the weather is suitable or if their nesting attempts fail early, they can attempt a 3rd clutch. These later clutches are usually smaller than the first and contain 3 to 4 eggs. Moorhens have a couple of interesting ways of showing how fit they are. For example, their constantly flicking tail is thought to be a sign to predators that they're alert and active, and research has shown that the birds that flick their tails more often are actually the healthier individuals. When it comes to showing how fit they are to one another, this is where the moorhen's brightly coloured beak comes into play. It takes a lot of energy to maintain these colours, and exposes the animal to more risk of predation, so the birds with the most vibrant colours are showing themselves to be in great condition to potential mates and competition. Moorhens in the UK don't usually migrate and remain in their territories throughout the year. In the winter, they are joined by migrant birds from Northern Europe who've migrated to our shores to escape the harshest weather, usually from Germany, Denmark and the Netherlands. Their numbers across Europe have remained fairly stable since 1980, but in the UK they have dropped quite significantly over the past 20 years. There are currently around 540,000 breeding moorhens in the country. They have an average lifespan of 3 years, but the oldest known bird died in 2020 just short of its 12th birthday, at 11 years, 11 months and 27 days old.